Well, good evening, everyone. It's time for some coffee talk. Here I am, and I think I'm a little off center. Yeah, could be. Anyway, good evening, everyone. I'm Daniel Miller, president of the Texas Nationalist Movement, and welcome to my late night coffee talk. You have to understand it's not really late night for me, right? I mean, this is maybe you could consider this the midday break. Maybe. I don't know. Just depends on how you lay out your day. But anyway, so glad that you could join me tonight. We're gonna share some coffee. At least I am. You may imbibe the beverage of your choice, and we're just gonna decompress a little bit. That's just kind of my weekly decompress. I take your questions from the chat, which actually I have up here today, so I don't have any trouble reading it right over here. But I'll be taking your questions. You'll help guide it. I'll talk about what's on my mind, what's been happening with the TNM, what's been happening with Texas, and just really looking forward to spending the time with you guys. Before I get kicked off, just a quick reminder for all of you that are watching on YouTube right now. Be sure while you are on our YouTube channel to subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way you will always get notification of when we go live, when we post new videos. And of course, Super Chat is open as it has been since we started doing this. Yeah, I mean, before this, I didn't even know what Super Chat was. Now I know exactly what Super Chat is, and we always appreciate those of you who make a contribution via Super Chat. And of course, if you're watching on Facebook, head over to our Facebook page, give it a like. And as a matter of fact, if you are watching on this video right now, be sure to like, comment, and share if share is available. We're streaming to multiple places. And of course, tonight, we are also streaming to Instagram. So I told you we'd get it working. It just took a little bit of time. Now, unfortunately, I cannot see any of the comments on Instagram Live, but we'll get that worked out as soon as we can. And but it won't be tonight. But at least we're there because we've been asked an awful lot. So here's the rundown. So we are YouTube, both the TNM and my personal YouTube channel. We're across multiple places on Facebook, including the main TNM Facebook page, the TNM members group, the TNM discussion group. I think we're on my Facebook page and perhaps a couple of others, plus maybe one or more groups. We are obviously on Periscope by Twitter, and I think we may be on both the TNM's main Twitter and mine. Of course, we're on Twitch. We are on Instagram now, and we are streaming live on our Roku channel that just launched today. So there it is. We are in a ton of places. So this is going to be fun. It's just gonna keep getting bigger. I mean, I don't know where we're going to be streaming next, but be sure, look, wherever you're watching this, or frankly any of our videos, be sure that you interact with them. Right, all of these services are operating off algorithms now, and with these algorithms, what doesn't get interacted with doesn't get seen, and that's just the way that it works. So that said, before we launch into, I guess, your questions and answers and things of that nature, let me take a minute and talk about what happened last night. The team put together a online celebration of the 25th anniversary of me getting involved in the fight for Texas independence. I talk about it enough in speeches. Is that is the day that I crossed that proverbial line in the sand. The day that I said I'm in and I haven't stopped. And so they did a wonderful thing. They threw basically a 2 hour, turned out to be 2 hour and 20-minute virtual soiree, so to speak. We had a ton of people that participated in the chat and that watched along. They had people that submitted videos, and some of those were played. And for those of you who submitted, but it didn't get played last night, I got all those and have watched them all. And I can tell you, I really appreciate it. We had emails come in from people. We had special guests last night. We had members of the national leadership team. We had State Representative James White, State Rep Kyle Biederman, had members of the advisory board like David Thomas Roberts. Obviously, our executive director and chief of staff, Nate Smith, Daphne Armour, were there. Our senior district director, Don Tier, the chairman of Take Texas Back campaign, Tom Belmore, our membership director, Regina Cow. Oh my God, she's going to kill me. Regina Ross. Sorry, she's going to kill me. I'm dead. I am so toast now. Regina Ross was there, and then, but at least it was, Regina, forgive me. I'm throwing myself on my sword right now. But we had there were just a ton of people that were on there, and for every one of you that reached out to me on social media that participated last night, I am humbled and frankly a bit overwhelmed by the outpouring of support, and it was a very encouraging experience for me. You have to understand. When Kara and I were sitting here last night at the tail end, I probably looked a bit like a deer in headlights. And the reason being is that for many, many years of this journey, there was no appreciation for the work that was put in. It was literally about 98% grief and hate directed at me and others like me, and about on occasion 2% some encouraging words. So so it is a little odd. I told I jumped on Zoom with Nate and Daphne after it was all over with to thank them for pulling it together, and of course Kara was just in there with them to make it a special day. And I told her, I said, that was I just didn't know how to react. Right. It could be a bit awkward, but I'm going to tell you something. I am beyond grateful for the people that we have engaged in this fight right now. I mean, I really am. And you guys are some of the most sincere, passionate people, and your appreciation means a lot. So to everyone who participated, to Claver for hosting, he did a phenomenal job. As always, my brother from another mother, Claver and I've been through the battles together, and there are some battles ahead. So we gotta, but to Claver, to everyone, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Now let's go win. Let's go win, right? I don't want to be celebrating another 25. Let's go win. Let's go get this thing done. So that said, let's tear off into to some interesting news. Oh, hang on, I do have a video I want to share with you guys first. Is that all right? Can we do that? Here, let me share this with you. I came across this. We posted this on social media. I don't know how many sessions back, but it was just so apropos. Hang on, let me ask you guys this question. No, okay, that's weird. For some reason, one of the monitors is showing me blurry. It's bizarre. Anyway, I came across this video, and I thought, given the fact that the Dems busted quorum in the Texas House, and how weak the response has been from leadership, I thought I would share it with you guys again. So let me throw this up there real quick, and then we'll get over to the chat, and I'll start looking at some of your questions.
Looks better. Looks like a Peter Gibbons. Oh, there you are. We were just talking about you. You must be Peter Gibbons. Terrific. I'm Bob Slidell. This is my associate, Bob Porter. Oh, hi, Bob. Bob, go ahead and grab a seat and join us for a minute. You see, what we're actually trying to do here is we're trying to get a feel for how people spend their day at work. So, if you would you walk us through a typical day for you? Yeah. Great. Well, I generally come in at least 15 minutes late. I use the side door, that way my work can't see me. And after that, I just sort of space out for about an hour. Till I'm space out? Yeah. I just stare at my desk. But it looks like I'm working. I do that for probably another hour after lunch, too. I'd say in a given week, I probably only do about 15 minutes of real, actual work.
Yeah, sorry if you guys got echo on that, but you get the point. It just I don't know why, but that I crack up every time I see that video because it's so true. I mean, there are some hardworking folks in the Texas Ledge, but man, they are just they may be a bit hard to find right now. But things are moving, so we'll see what happens and how long that lasts. But yeah, look, the leadership up there's been weak. All right, so let's do this. I see the chat scrolling, and so let me go ahead and take your questions. Let's go here. I will scroll to the top, and we will start working your chat. Okay. Stephen says, what happens if we secede? The U.S. refuses to recognize our legitimacy, and in turn, other prominent members of the international community refuse to recognize Texas as an independent country as well. Sort of a Taiwan situation with China. It's an interesting thought experiment. I mean, we could what if this thing to death, but honestly, part of the reason that we have to follow this process in the way that we've said, which is a public binding referendum, which we absolutely win, and then the beginning of the process, to where we begin to set everything in motion on our end. Remember, this is not a mother may I proposition. So, we go in, we have the referendum, we win the referendum, then we start making the adjustments constitutionally and statutorily to enact the will of the people of Texas. So, the next time there is a particular interaction with the federal government is going to come on those issues where there is a clear nexus between Texas and the United States. So, we have these negotiated issues where we have to sit down. But you wind up with so much work done, especially, think about it. Think about it this way. So let's make no mistake. If there's a Texas vote, when there's a Texas vote, it's not going to be a secret, right? It's not going to be, no one knows about it. It's going to be super public, right? I mean, it's going to be world news. I mean, a state within the United States has gone to the polls, has engaged in a very serious debate, very public debate, and then boom, there it is. The vote has happened. They've won. So all eyes are going to be here. So, and frankly, the pressure is going to be on the United States federal government to behave in a consistent manner on the issue of self-determination. I believe I talked about this last week, but I think we're definitely going to do the virtual conference, whatever it is, where we talk about post-Texit issues, and we'll have some great discussion about that. Okay, so hang on, just got a request. Boom, there we go. Look at that. I get to wield the band hammer. How much fun is that? Okay, but Stephen, definitely stay tuned for that because there are a lot of questions about sort of post-Texit process. And one of the things you will never hear me do is lock in 100% and say, this is what post-Texit policy is going to be. That's a trap. I wrote about that trap in the book, specifically how the Scottish independence referendum in 2014 was an abject lesson and why that is terrible. Because you got to get first things first, right? Can't put the cart before the horse. So, but what I do feel comfortable discussing and can talk about it in very specific, concrete terms is what that post-Texit process looks like. So that'll be a fun discussion for us to have. Okay, moving right along. Lots of howdies. Someone said early night. It sort of is for me. I mean, I'm not kidding. Yeah, the doc here says I was not expecting a late night coffee. Yeah, I mean, we did the thing last night, but look, I committed, and unless I'm super ill or traveling and don't have access to internet, I'll be here. So we will. It will take some extenuating circumstances to scrub it. And honestly, if you can hear my snork right now, tonight would have been one of those nights where I could have just went and chilled out, took some Sudafed or whatever, and gone to bed. But I didn't. I'm here because I knew you would have questions. So. Okay. What can we do to progress the movement? I followed the movement for a while and haven't seen much in the way of movement. Well, that's because, and I mentioned this last night at the tail end. Yeah, in my one and only football analogy last night when Karen and I were on here, when we started this process, it was like starting out with the ball on the 1 yard line, right? I mean that on our own 1 yard line, right? Not about to make a touchdown, and we've had to fight every step of the way. And if you want to understand one of the reasons that I've been able to continue this fight every 25 years is you have to look and you have to celebrate every victory, right? Understand that every inch we gain is progress. And yeah, I would have loved to have been faster. I would have loved for it to already be done and me going on with my life. But that's the breaks. That ain't my fault, right? Not my fault. When you look at the people in this organization that are working on this cause, we're pouring everything into it. Normally, those types of comments and questions come from people who are Johnny-come-latelys, right? They showed up about 6 months ago. It hasn't happened in 6 months, and so they're like, why aren't we making any progress? Well, it's like, dude, where have you been when we've been out here busting our tails, making this thing work? And not going to be lectured on progress from some Johnny-come-lately who knows absolutely squat about what it takes to win this and has put in no work. I mean, that's just the bottom line. So you want to get in and help us pull, then come on. But don't expect to come on here and try to lecture me about why is this taking so long? Why did it take you so long to get here? Why? It's not me. I've been here 25 years. Where you been? I've been working 25 years. Where you been? Where have you been? So you could take that noise and go pound sand. All right. Hey, Daphne. Hey, Donna. Hey, Susan. Thank you for your kind words. I appreciate that. Yeah, looks like you guys are schooling this fella. Yeah, I do this every week, same time, same place. Okay. Yes, Clark, there is a Twitch channel. And I don't have the link, but I will show you this. You guys want to, here's a pro tip for navigating the TNM. If you notice, here's like us on Facebook. There it is, facebook.com/Texas NATMOV, right? Same thing with Twitter, Texas NATMOV, right? Same thing with YouTube, literally, if you want to find us on social media, uh, that is the handle you're going to use. And look, we didn't create that. It's not a recent invention. That came about when our YouTube channel was started up so many years ago. That was what was available to us. And so what we did was we made sure to use that for all of our social media outlets. So you look at the various social media outlets. If you go to Instagram and you do the Texas NATMOV, that's our Instagram. Same thing with Twitch, I do believe. But I also think you can search Texas Nationalist Movement and find us on there. So, that should be it. And it's just the same thing for me, right? If you want to find any of my personal stuff, it's the Texian DM. That's Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, everything, right? And it just makes it easy. So people aren't having to hunt for us and search. It's just, if you remember those, then you can find us pretty much anywhere. Okay. Yes. So there's the Twitch channel. Hello, North Carolina. I'm guessing NC is North Carolina and not like a total misspell of North Korea, because that would be weird and funny at the same time. But I'm guessing North Carolina. And I'm glad you're very interested in this topic. I, too, am very interested in this topic because I have been living it for a long time. Chris says, happy birthday. That will be actually in November, but I guess you could kind of look at August 24th like a birthday. It's definitely my line in the sand day. Okay. Dwayne says, looking forward to hearing the overall strategy and short-term tactics toward liberating us from an out-of-control federal government. Dwayne, we're working it, buddy. TNM.me. Go sign up, get in the fight. You'll learn all you need to know. But good to have you on. And if this is the Dwayne I'm thinking, Dwayne's been fighting some of these battles related to historical monument protection. Some of the, I think we've been at some committee hearings at the Capitol. So at the same time. Okay. So people are apparently giving this YouTube commentator, which is obviously not a real name. Yeah, whatever. That's very nice. It's the Rose Lady. The Rose Lady says, you're never off center. You're always on target. I appreciate that. Is that why I'm catching the flack? That's nice. Okay. Somebody made an Avatar of the Last Airbender joke. That is funny. I too have kids, so I understand this thing. Let's go through here. Think Texas being, okay. So Larry says, think Texas being its own country is a great time to leave the States with all the stupid stuff coming out of Washington, D.C. Wow. I mean, look, really, you want to know the best recruiting tool we got right now? It's called the nightly news. Bottom line. I mean, we had, and if you guys have a chance to go back and watch last night, there was a discussion when Claver had, when he was talking to State Representative James White. James talked about, they got to talking about sort of the border issue, and James said, and I mean, this literally came out of his mouth, that he believes that it's Washington, D.C. trying to destabilize Texas. Now, that's the first, I've not heard any other public official come out and directly accuse the federal government of an intentional destabilization. But it's interesting because it's one of the things that we've talked about, right? The failed border policy. You got to think it's either through inefficiency or ineptitude, or it's on purpose. And if it's on purpose, what is the end game? And destabilization is probably the strongest term that I've heard out of an elected official so far here in Texas. So yeah, it's definitely, that's the case. Clark says, I'm considering moving back just to run for office to try getting rid of one of the anti-Texas legislators. You better hurry up, because your eligibility, depending on the office you run for, has, I think it's, some offices are 1 year of residency in the district, and some are 2 years. I can't remember right off the top of my head. Beverly says, Daniel, you've given many people hope. Thank you. Hey, Beverly, no, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. Man, you guys are giving whoever this guy is, you're giving it back to him in spades. So that's wonderful. David, hey, wait a minute. Is this, hang on. Let me look at this picture. I got to know this. That is indeed. Okay. So David says, just got on, got to come to one of your live events. That's David. David was my high school theater teacher, right? So some of you have heard me tell the story, especially when you come up and you talk about, about me speaking, things like that. The first time I actually spoke in front of people was in high school in David's class. We went to a tournament. I think it was some sort of outside the school thing, and I had everything prepared in my little folder, and I got up there to read it, and I shook so bad that I almost fell down. And it was literally the judge's critique on the speech that said, you know, nice delivery, something along those lines, but try not to be so nervous the next time. I mean, it was hilarious. But I have known David since since high school. I mean, I think I met David when I was probably ninth or 10th grade. So, man, it's great to have you on here. I actually helped him move when he left the school. I helped him move his stuff to Plano. So yeah, I remember that. So man, it's great to see you on here. It's like old home week. This is phenomenal. Okay, Earl. Let's see here. Chris says you deserve it, future president of Texas. I know you're not talking to me. Okay, so more the banter. Yeah, this is good, man. You guys are killing it. I'm about halfway through the comments, so yeah, thank you for telling me it's not blurry. It's just something weird over here on this screen. I don't know what's going on. Very bizarre. Da, 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 da. This is a good time for a cup of coffee for a swing. Oh my gosh, it is Old Home Week. Colonel Jim Ingstrand is on tonight, and the Colonel and I were on the campaign trail in 2012 at the same time. He was running for Congress, and if I remember correctly, Colonel, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you were running for it was either that CD 36 seat, that congressional seat they drew, or it was 14. I want to say it was 36, but let me tell you, you're never going to meet probably a nicer guy than the Colonel. I mean, phenomenal guy, and he would have made an amazing representative for the folks around here. He would have just done phenomenal. Ha ha! Look at that. Someone from the homeland. Love to Texas from Greece. Yamas. I don't know. Can we do that with coffee? Can we go Yamas with coffee? I don't know. But I did it. So there you go. Okay. Thanks for joining us from Greece tonight. Let's go. Yeah. May you become independent. Thank you very much. I have a quote on my Facebook profile, all in Greek. Let's see if you guys can go decipher it. Okay. Let's see here. Boy, you guys are really on it. Yes, we definitely welcome the love. Let's see. Okay, I'm not seeing a lot of questions tonight. Here we go. Here's something from here we go. Here's Janie. Janie says that working a gun show in Corpus this Saturday with Ceci and Guy from Divine. Right. So this is a good reminder to everyone to go check out the events calendar. If you have not signed the petition, be sure that you go connect with one of our certified petition circulators, either at an event or by looking at the map of certified petition circulators on the website. Or in addition, if you don't have a CPC or an event near you, become a petition circulator yourself. We need as many as we could possibly get. I feel like a broken record saying this, but if you're writing to us and saying, where can I sign the petition? There is no easier place to sign it than in the comfort of your own home by becoming a petition circulator. And while you're at it, pick up some more signatures from people that you know. everybody can do something, right? There's not a scenario where someone cannot of sound mind and even moderately able body can't help, right? Teamwork makes the dream work. Do I need to? I really probably need to just scroll that on the screen and make it scroll across the screen all the time. But look, if you want to go sign the petition, you want to get involved, go to tnm.me/petition. Right, you'll find out everything about the petition effort right there. You'll find out where you can sign the petition, how you can become a petition circulator. It literally is one of the easiest things you'll do. You sit there, you watch, it's like 20-25 minutes worth of video on how to collect the signatures, what the form looks like, what information goes where, what do you do once you get the form filled out, where do you send it. It's literally what that video is, right? So you watch that video, boom, you're a petition circulator. Now you can collect signatures, including your own, and it's just easy peasy. So go there, tnm.me/petition. Okay, moving right along. Paul, oh yeah, and look, there's tons of events. I know I started out with that, but go look at the events calendar. I mean, our people are burning it up right now. They are all over the place. We're even going to have a crew at the NRA convention, but the NRA canceled their convention. Ouch. But that's what you get for having a convention in Houston. Go ask the Republican Party of Texas how that worked out for them. Okay. Paul says this. Paul's our district director in 22. He says, we all know what will happen if we do nothing. No matter what your fears are, they will not be worse than what is coming from the federal government. Please stay strong and have faith. Faith and fear cannot live in the same space. Man, that's good. I'm putting that on a t-shirt. Faith and fear cannot live in the same space. That is phenomenal. Thank you for that, Paul. Okay. Moving right along. Wow. Okay. So you guys are. Yeah. Someone says this will take a while. Talking about independence, and yes, it has taken a while. But imagine the benefits. Yeah. I mean, the pros of Texas definitely outweigh the cons. Okay. So GW says when I was in Alaska a few weeks back, they are considering this themselves, and that's true. Many people don't know, but Alaska does have a political party dedicated to independence. They've been around for a very long time. The Alaskan Independence Party. And as a matter of fact, before, you guys may have heard me talk about Dr. Naylor from Vermont, Dr. Thomas Naylor. When Dr. Naylor and I were working on coordinating with all these various independence movements and organizations within the U.S. and abroad, he had been working with Lynette Clark over at AIP in Alaska. And of course, the doc passed away a few years back. And I do believe that Lynette Clark passed, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago. I mean, it's not been that long ago. But AIP's claim to fame is Sarah Palin got grief because her husband spoke at an AIP convention, which kind of interesting, don't you think? David, thank you very much. David says, I am a Johnny come lately. I have only been watching a year, yet I have seen vast progress. Yes. I guess it really all depends on somebody's measuring stick, right? I mean, but yeah, we're glad to have you. All right. Okay, Jason says this. He says, considering what happened in the last, you know what? I could actually put these on the screen. Look at that. Considering what happened in the last presidential election, do you trust that the voting process for the referendum will be kept honest? Because I don't. And Jason, it's a really, really good question. I want to get a lot, right? I mean, I hear that a lot. And I will tell you that voter integrity, election integrity have been high priorities for us. And it's understandable, right? Since day one, we knew that this was going to end up at the ballot. We knew that it was going to be a process. Matter of fact, if you look at the earliest drafts of the proposed legislation, I think even the draft that we sent to Kyle ahead of this last legislative session, we included a paper ballot provision in it, right? But it has a tendency to get flunked out by these guys as an impractical matter. So we've always been really kind of amped up and concerned about this because there is, I think, some legitimate cause for concern about the voting system, and it's factored into a lot of the strategy that we've talked about in the TNM. Like, one of the things that we will have to do is, ahead of the referendum, we're going to have 14,000 volunteers as poll watchers. Now, you think that sounds ridiculously high, but when you think about it, it's actually not. But the tally looks like it's going to be close to 14,000 volunteers to do nothing more than to watch polls for irregularities. Okay, so that's one aspect of this. But the other is, and you may or may not have heard me say it, but I've said it plenty. It's one of the reasons that we've got to fight not just for a 50% plus one victory, but we got to blow it off the charts. And part of that comes from a piece of advice that State Rep James White gave me back in 2012, which was when I was working on trying to figure out the target number of votes I needed to get to win in that primary that I was running in. I asked him what a practical sort of formula was for that. And he said, you can take all the formulas you want to. He said, but you have to win beyond the margin of theft. and that told me everything that I needed to know, right? So you can't just go for a little bit of a victory. You got to go for a lot of a victory, right? You got to blow it out of the box. So it's part of the reason that we fight for that. But it's observation, it's legislation, and then it's just it's blowing it out of the box. I mean, just a big win beyond a shadow of a doubt. Okay. Scrolling right along. Craig's asking the question, and I'm probably going to I may hop on your CPC Accelerator webinar tomorrow night and tell you guys when we're going to post totals, you won't have to ask about them, right? You want to know where we are on the petition campaign. Go look at the leaderboard and look at your name and the number next to your name, because that's all we're getting until we're ready to announce. And we have very specific benchmarks for when we publicly announce this and not until. So it's the way it works. Sorry. Okay. Okay, here's one. What do you think of helping another state that has ballot initiative powers but put independents on the ballot? South/North Dakota's are 15,000 signatures. Montana's 36,000 signatures. Domino effect. Look, that's one of the reasons that we work with these guys in these other states. Cal Exit is working. I believe that they've got a petition campaign coming up. I think I'm going to get Marcus on here one night so we can kind of talk and tag team about independence movements, and you guys can see what it looks like from California's perspective. But right now, I got an email just, I don't know, a couple of days ago from the folks up there in New Hampshire. Now, you guys may remember that we got invited up there to participate in a panel discussion at that festival up there, Pork Fest, and talking about independence. And we were on a panel with the New Hampshire folks, with Stephen Axelman, who is running a clearinghouse for independence movements throughout North America. We were there with Marcus Ruiz-Evans from Cal Exit, and that's essentially what we did. Well, I got an email a couple of days ago that New Hampshire, they have taken kind of the discussion that we had there, and they're running with it. They've got state reps that are ready to file a constitutional amendment calling for independence, right? So they're following the model which is gaining a foothold in the legislature, building that political strength, establishing a beachhead, and then getting the legislation enacted to make it happen. So I was over the moon about that. I didn't even share that email with anyone until last night after the event, the online celebration, because I'm over the moon. But yeah, look, we've always been open. We literally, if you go to the about page on our website, we literally have a director of international engagement, right? And we have an entire international engagement aspect, like a whole department, and that's literally what they do is, and that's all they do is they are meant to interact with independence movements in various regions around the world so that we can collaborate, so we can communicate. And when we talk international, we're even talking about states of the union, right? That qualifies. So yeah, so we've always been open to helping and having that dialogue and making that work. When it comes to the issue of independence in the states of the United States, anything we can do to help one another raises everyone, right? The more, the merrier. Okay, so Larry wants to know, are there any canned audio clips that could be used on a local radio station? I think it might help publicize petition signing event, not ask for TNM to fund this, but maybe supply the audio. I envision this being funded locally. Okay. That is a great question. I will see really quickly if I can find this for you. We actually have a cut radio ad that's available if you go to our website at tnm.me and log in. You have access to an entire download section. And in that download section, you're going to find the radio ad. I think there's a tab on there for radio ads, and there are actually two versions. The most recent one actually has been converted to a video on our YouTube channel. But I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and pull this up, perhaps, if I can get some cooperation from, let's look here. Oh, not there, huh? Well, I will find. But if you go look in our YouTube channel, you will find the radio ad. Or you can, like I said, go to the download section on the website, and you will be able to actually download the audio. You can take it to a radio station and supply that audio, and they'll know what to do with it. Yeah, I know. I thought I had this on here to play for you guys, but apparently I don't. So that, my friends, is on me. I should have had that handy. I wasn't expecting that question, but I'm sure we could figure it out. I'll see. Maybe we'll do the search during this broadcast, and we'll get it over to you. We'll get a chance to play it. But look, that is a good opportunity for me to remind you guys that when you register your support and you log into the TNM website, what you're gonna find a whole plethora of information there, right? We have purposely oversupplied everyone with downloads of flyers and printed materials, radio ads, signs, like literally the Texas Now signs that we have. The graphics are there. We have various sign graphics, veterans for Texas, teachers for Texas, students for Texas. I mean, it goes on and on and on. So go avail yourself of every resource that we have on the website, and don't be afraid to explore. There is so much there that, I mean, just tools for you to use, right? All right, so here that is. Guess what I found? I got the video. Well, I got the radio ad. So here I'll play it for you guys. For those of you who have not heard it. All right. Here we go.
Stand up, Texas. There comes a time in one's life where you have to take a stand for what you believe in, to stand for what you know in your heart is right, for yourself, for your children, for your grandchildren. As Texans, we are in a fight for our independence and the promise of freedom that Texas was built upon. And it's that very freedom that is being stripped away from us right now. As brothers, sisters, business owners, employees, students, we are all in this fight together. It's time to take a stand, Texas. We are an organization of nearly 400,000 Texans. We're pushing for Texit and our freedom, our independence. Join us. Let's stand together. Visit texitnow.org. That's texitnow.org. Paid for by the Texas Nationalist Movement.
Don't know about you, but that radio ad is quite awesome. I really thought that one turned out phenomenal. And you know, we've periodically been running these statewide radio campaigns. We did a big blitz, and then we're picking up various markets as we want to. But look, that ad is available. Go to the website, download it. If you want to go run it on your local radio station, go get them, Tiger. Go get them. Okay, so Stephen says, do you have any legislators who have committed to filing a resolution in the legislature which is necessary? Stephen, I'm going to encourage you to head over to our website and hit the news section and do a little catch up. We literally had legislation filed in this last session. Okay, so Wendy says, lots of love to you, Daniel, for all your help, time, and dedication to Texas. Texas will. Hey, thank you, Wendy. I appreciate that. Oh, look at this. We got two people in the Carolinas that are looking to connect. I mean, see, that's what happens with these things. People find one another, they connect up. That is the type of thing that needs to be happening more. And it's one of the reasons that we spin up these local coordinators. We have these local meetups. We have these local events because you guys need to connect with one another. Okay, so rolling right along. We need our own currency. Yes, we do. Okay. Hey, there's a super chat. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It says, looking forward to meeting you September 16th at Brisket Love in Lindale. Brisket. I'm in, right? And that's a great reminder. September 16th, I will be there in Lindale, Texas, right outside of Tyler. I'm going to be up there speaking because I'm going to be in the area for my old high school's homecoming. Right, they do it every 3 years. I'll be speaking there, and my understanding is there's going to be an event there in my hometown of White Oak Saturday morning, a petition signing event, and I think there's been some discussion about organizing a meet and greet. So there's going to be a lot of things popping, and I'm going to say this too. I've got a very big announcement coming up in September. So you're going to want to watch your calendar. We may live stream it, but it will be in person, and you are definitely going to want to be a part of it. So all I'm going to say. Wow, you guys are really chatty tonight. I didn't even really talk about anything in particular. And Donna says, y'all come here, Daniel, live September the 12th, right? September the 12th. I'll be down in Portland, close to down in that whole Corpus area. They're having a Texas border awareness rally. And I am just over the moon to have been invited to speak and participate and be a part of that. You would be surprised. People want to be heard on these issues related to immigration and the border, and I'm just excited to be down there in the Portland area to be able to engage with the citizens there to help bring awareness to what's happening down on the border. Cliff says, congratulations on 25 years of service. Thank you. I truly admire your persistence and commitment to the cause of Texas independence. Victory is in sight. Amen. Victory is in sight. And I'm going to tell you what, I am ready, beyond ready to be there. Craig says, can you see Facebook questions? I can see questions in the chat. Remember, this thing all aggregates, and I can see if it's coming from Facebook or YouTube or whatever. But yeah, I'm seeing some of these. Some of them though, if they come in the groups, like if you're commenting in the group, it seems like it wants to drop them. I know it doesn't put the name, but we'll figure it out. Texan says, hope you're well. Always good to hear you speak. I am. I'm just a little snorky, but nothing to write home about. I live, much to the chagrin of some folks out there. I'm sure I live, and I am in good health. Okay, let's see here. Okay, Craig says they're going to be at a small event at downtown Crockett this Saturday. Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing probably to collect petition signatures. But go out there, look, hit these events. Look for people in the T&M shirts. Go connect, right? Gun show in Longview this weekend. That's right. I bet there's be some great signatures. Rhonda says, I'd like to see a T&M booth at the Fort Bend County Fair for September 2021. Reach out to your district director. Go to tnm.me/about. Find your district director and tell them, look, let's get a booth together in Fort Bend. Let's make this happen. Okay. Sean wants to know, how do we start this in Louisiana? Contact us. We will help you. We will advise you. We will guide you. We will tell you where the mines are in the minefield and what not to step on. But we will help spin it up. Now I'm gonna warn you, right? If we have a good way of separating the go-getters from the BSers, right? So only kick this dog if you're ready to take it all the way to the house, right? If you're willing to take it all the way to the end, that's when you kick this dog, right? Because this is, it's one of those things. People have reached out to us, and we see it in the organization too. People come in, boy, they're so full of fire and passion, and then they're like, oh, I can. They're like this dipstick that was on here earlier, who's like, I haven't seen any progress, so I'm going to go quit and I'm going to do this because I can do it faster and better. And then literally less than probably 12 months later, they realized that this ain't easy. Right? Running a political advocacy organization in and of itself is tough. But doing it at the level of professionalism that we're doing it's hard. It's not easy. You pull out any of our people in leadership and they will tell you that you have to be so dedicated to be able to stick to it. I mean, this has got to be your passion. It's not this and stamp collecting or, I do this and I race this on, I do buggy racing on the weekends. I mean, this is going to be your thing, right? At least if you're going to be a leader, if you're going to be a volunteer, it doesn't have to consume all your time. But if you're going to lead it and head it up, it takes a commitment. It takes a commitment. And so I'm not trying to discourage you, but I'm saying, look, if you're serious about Louisiana or any of you folks on here that are from other states, and you want to get engaged, we will help you. We will consult with you. We'll guide you. We'll do everything we can to help you get going and keep going and make it a success. We will plug you in to the larger community of independence movements, not just here in the States, but around the world. And together we can all achieve our dream of self-determination. Oh, wow. I'm down to 5 minutes and I'm like not even halfway through chat. So, okay, so let me do this. I'm going to do my usual 5-minute warning where I scroll to the bottom of the chat and start rolling it back up and see what I have missed. I'll start skimming, see if anything jumps out. Man, there's a lot of good questions tonight, guys. A lot of good ones, and I'm bloody out of time, and I am so sorry. Hey, thank you for the Hey, thank you for the super chat. Here's what it says. Thanks for the stream, Daniel. Have you ever considered reaching out to other channels on YouTube and doing guest appearances on their shows? I was on Steve Turley, but yeah, I mean, we're open. I have. I mean, we obviously have somebody who handles that sort of publicity, but the getting us media bookings and things of that nature. But I don't know that we've ever talked about going out to other YouTube channels. But look, if you've got some, it's kind of like what happened with Steve Turley. He got a lot of response. A lot of people asked if he would host me on his show, and boom, next thing you know, they reached out. So that happens a lot. So definitely consider that. And if you've got some suggestions, email them over to us. We're always open. Yep. Looking. Guys, I think I've hit a lot of these. If I did not get to it, I am so sorry, but I am just flat out of time. So rolling down through here. Yeah, I'm out of time, folks. Uh, Wait, hang on. Somebody says, Christina says, Daniel, do you have any plans on running for office? Not that I am willing to discuss tonight. Was that subtle? Okay, Beverly says, Daniel, thoughts on what Kyle said last night? Read the lack of progress by the U.S. government on the border fence being used as leverage for Texas. Look, it's really a good question because Kyle, one of the things that we talked about. As a matter of fact, if you go look at some of the videos from some of the speeches that I gave years ago, one of the things that I have talked about a lot over the years, not probably as much as sort of the Article 1, Section 2 type stuff, but there's, in my mind, there has always been this idea of a catalyzing moment, right? You call it a moment of clarity or a catalyzing moment. and a lot of that goes to this one piece of organizational philosophy that we had when we founded the TNM. And it may sound unusual to you guys, but it's something that has really guided a lot of the strategic planning that we do. And essentially, what it talks about is that political events, things that happen in the political sphere, and really, I guess you could say social and political, they have a certain mass to them, right? Not like a real mass, like in physics, but like a mass. And so these events, when they come together, some events, some things have more mass than others, and you could almost measure that mass in the number of people that it stirs up, right? But they have this mass, and what effectively happens is when these events happen, these catalyzing events, it's almost like literal gravity, to where space and time sort of expand or shrink or whatever. And so there is this idea that you have these catalyzing moments that can ultimately accelerate the process toward Texas independence, right? So if we're on this path toward Texas independence and one of these catalyzing moments happens, then effectively what it does is it compresses the time frame for us to get from where we are to where we need to be. And so, I believe that what Kyle's talking about could be one of those catalyzing moments. And for those of you who don't know, I mean, that's kind of like we're talking inside baseball. But for those of you who don't know, State Representative Kyle Biederman, the state rep, good friend who filed House Bill 1359, who made the strongest pro-Texas statement that he's made last night since we've known him. He talked about specifically the federal government and the state of Texas kind of coming to loggerheads over the border wall, border fence issue. And he believes that could be one of those catalyzing moments that could really expose to everyone in Texas where they, specifically people on the bubble, but could really expose how ridiculous the federal government is on this issue and bring more people into the Texas camp and enough to really accelerate the process. So, but go back and watch last night. It's in our YouTube channel, and so be sure you go back and watch that. But Beverly, thank you for that, and thank you for the super chat. Andy wants to know: do you think Texas will be the first state to leave the union? I really hope so, but I want it to be us. But I do know this is that we will probably be first, but we definitely will not be the last. So there we go. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me. I'm a little bit over time, but I want to tell you guys again how much I really appreciate you being here with me tonight. Share this cup of coffee. It's been more talk than coffee tonight. My apologies. But that being said, I love being on here each week, answering your questions, and we got a lot going on. We've got a large fight ahead of us, and I know that I want to win, and I know you want to win, and I know that ultimately what we want is we simply want the right to govern ourselves, right? Without this interference from the federal government, without their destabilizing efforts, without having our paychecks stolen and our liberty stolen. We want the ability to live free, be free. We want the ability to have our laws begin and end right here in the borders of Texas and not have that type of interference from Washington, D.C. And we want to celebrate what makes Texas, Texas, and we want to keep it that way. So that being said, I again can only express my gratitude to each of you for your willingness to be here tonight, either alongside of us in the fight, or at least open enough to be here to ask your questions and keep an open mind, not just about Texas and self-determination for Texas, but wherever you're reaching us from, to be here to celebrate and promote self-determination with us. So thank you all from the bottom of my heart. That being said, it is time to end this, and I will end it as I end every broadcast and leave you with the words of Sam Houston. Sam Houston said that Texas will again lift its head and stand among the nations. We believe that time is now, and the question is, will you stand with her? Good night, everyone.